here. Let me just get set up. What's going to go on today? I have no idea. Come on, Tinternet, you can do this. There we are. Good job. Shush. Oh my word, we've got lots of people already talking. Hang on, let me try and... Oh, God. Am I late? I don't think I'm late. What's going on? You're all early. Start at the top, shall we? Simon. Good morning, Simon. Good to have you on board, matey. Thanks for joining us. Kill switch. Hey, hey, hey. Yep, I'm here again. Good job, mate. Mike Bazansky. Lurking from Virginia. Lurking's a terrible word, isn't it? It implies it's bad. Jim K. Hello, crew, and welcome. Morning, Jim. Hope you got your problems sorted out. Kill switch. Lurking or stalking, Mike. Exactly my point. Hey, Jim. From Kill Switch. Simon Roll, you made it, Kill Switch. Mike Bazansky. Is there a difference, lol? Lurking or stalking? Yeah, it's pretty similar. Both sound bad, don't they? Where's the man? Well, the man wasn't due to be here until 8:30. You guys are a bit early, to be honest. Kill switch in court. Yes, probably. I wouldn't want to be accused of either, though, to be fair. Now, Simon, what's everyone been up to while we wait for Andy? Funny guy. It's not my fault that I was on time. Hi, Simon. Busy day watching rain fall. Oh, man, if I had the time to do that, it'd be nice. Mike, put chains on the plough tractor. Sure to get no snow now. Correct. Now, hang on. Almost there, chaps. Almost there. Kill switch. I ran out of paint to watch. Funny. To watch dry. Kill switch is working, Mike. There's no snow here, lol. Ignos Dobruskis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Clear night with fog and +2 degrees. Somebody's messaging me. Simon, UK will only get a light dusting of snow at best. Well, I can guarantee no snow here in Taupo. It's not going to happen at all. Although it did snow once in Auckland when I was, well, it wasn't actually Auckland City. It was in a little place called Devonport, just over the water. And we actually had snow on the forecourt one day. Well, I say one day, it happened. You know, it was really weird. It came in really cold, dark, obviously a thick laden cloud, and it snowed, and then the sun came out and it all disappeared. It was almost like it was never there. Daniel Beddle. Hi, hello, Andy. Morning, Daniel. Jim K, 24 degrees Fahrenheit here in Michigan. I don't understand Fahrenheit at all, unfortunately. I can never get my head around that. Igor Dobruskis. Oh, forgot to mention +2 in Latvia. Jim K, I'm putting tracks on the ROV right now. Oh, man. That's something I've never had to do, is fit tracks to ROVs. Be quite interesting. I think they do gear the machine down, though, don't they? So, you know, obviously it's going to be a lot slower. So, how many have we got? 23 and 3 likes. Well, it's far too early to do any likes, obviously. What's been going on in my world this week? Well, let me think now. Monday, I went up to, Sunday afternoon, I went up to Auckland. And Monday, I was doing stuff in Auckland, work related, obviously. Workshop, I think it was, most of it, actually. We were doing stuff in the workshop. And then Tuesday morning, that's right. No, I'm wrong. Monday was a bank holiday. So I went up Monday night. That's right. I was at home Monday during the day. Went up Monday night. Tuesday morning, had to go and collect some ROVs with the big trailer. That's one of the reasons why I had to go back to Auckland, because I had to take the trailer. Did that, and then had to drive all the way to New Plymouth. Yes, I know. I drove to Auckland with the trailer to go half an hour down the road to pick up 2 ROVs, to then drive all the way to New Plymouth, which is in completely the opposite direction. So from here to New Plymouth, and a couple of 100 Ks, maybe 250 Ks. Yeah, it's about 250, I think. And instead, I drove more like 750. I'm an idiot sometimes. But I was asked to do it, and it needed to be done. And the people that I had to see, or that I did have a chat with when I collected the ROVs, that was the important part. I had to be there for that. And it turned out to be very beneficial. So then got down to New Plymouth about just gone 9 o'clock on the Tuesday night. Went to Hell's Pizza, which is a really nice pizza a takeaway all over New Zealand, or most places in New Zealand, and it was shut. I was gutted. Why would a pizza place close at 9 o'clock at night? So I had to go to Domino's. I was a bit grumpy, and it was rainy and cold and windy as well, so I was actually really grumpy. But anyway, got to bed early, about 10:30 I think it was, after a few emails. And then Wednesday I was doing some training all day, which was, it sort of went okay. We had a few computer problems in the fact that there wasn't one to work with. I had my laptop, but where I was had no computers, which didn't help. But then got that out of the way, and then I got into Wanganui for about just gone 7 o'clock, I think it was. I got the hammer down. And then did a diagnostic on an ROV all day Thursday, which was an intermittent fault. And although I had the scope on it pretty much all day, we had the vehicle running pretty much all day. We even took it down to the local beach. Had a great afternoon driving, well, actually being chauffeured all the way down the beach and through some forest and over some dunes and all that kind of stuff. And as luck would have it, the vehicle did not miss a beat all day long. We could not replicate the customer's complaint, which was intermittent misfire between 12 kilometers an hour and 24 kilometers an hour, I believe it was, around that sort of range. And I was busy scoping injector pulse and coil primary. And apart from on overrun, when you take your foot completely off the throttle, where the ECU actually cuts fuel, like I said, there was always a spark event, and there was always fuel going in the engine. So I don't know what was going on there. And all the mechanical checks have been done. Valve timing's good, compression test was good, all that kind of stuff. So some little gremlin is living in that vehicle. Either that or it's the customer's driving style. I don't know which. So I had to go away with inconclusive results. Although we did prove crank angle sensor was good. So that was one thing that was out of the way. But yeah, and then Thursday night drove home. Friday, admin in the morning, workshop in the afternoon. Yesterday, I spent most of yesterday morning, Saturday morning, editing a video that I'd done on, what the hell was it on? Oh, it was one of the DR200 videos with Tool Girl Lilli, doing the swing arm bearings. So that took me quite a while to edit that up, unfortunately. It's got some music on it as well, so hopefully you'll like that. I'm going to be uploading that later on today, and it's going to go live on Wednesday morning. 7 a.m. Wednesday morning, New Zealand time. That will go out to the world. And yesterday afternoon, and this is a big bit actually, I made a video. I made a video on the CB750 K2. And the video basically was all about the volt drops, or should I say the wiring integrity of the circuit does the ignition system. And I watched some of the footage last night, and I wasn't very happy with it. I wasn't very happy with it at all. I think I could have done a much better job. So I have to do it all over again today. It's not often I have to remake a video, but it could be so much better. And I really hope that the second, I don't have to make the whole thing. It's sort of 2/3 of it I have to remake. But yeah, just sort of kick myself on that, because I spent a bit of time doing it. I had about 3 hours doing that, so it's going to take another 2 hours this morning after the live stream. So I can't be on too long this morning because Mrs. Mechanic wants to go to a car endurance race in Taupo at the Bruce McLaren Raceway. So that's where we're going this afternoon. So yeah, just every now and again, you've got to say, you know what, that video is just not going to be good enough. And there's no point editing it up as it is, because I'd still feel bad about it. It's not about the quantity of videos that you put on your channel, it's about the quality. And that's what it's all about. Anyway, I need to get back. So you've found out what I've done and what I'm going to be doing as well, a bit of future stuff. Now then, let me just catch up with these. Here we go. Blackfoot, greetings from Belgium. I have lived in New Zealand in Runaga. Where the hell's that? Don't think I've ever been there. I don't recognise the name. Tell me, Blackfoot, where is Runaga, if I'm pronouncing it right? Ryder in San Jersey. 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Holy crap. And beautiful San Jose, California. I'm going out for a ride. Well, lucky you. Jim K, 40%. 40% fixed or 40% gear reduction? 40% gear reduction, probably. Daniel Bedell, sorry, I wanted you to see why I missed your last 3 live streams. Oh, this could be Daniel. Hang on then. It could be. What have we got? Yes. Oh my word. Oh, this is what Daniel's been up to. I'm sure he won't mind me showing you guys. Oh, we'll give him one of those. Geez, how many photos? He's been renovating his house. Or a house. There you go, look. Sorry, I'll try and get the glare off the screen. There you are, look. Get rid of the cigarette. Geez, too much smoke. He's doing a great job. Wow, look at that. Ceiling fan and everything. Bloody hell. Most impressive. Wow, what's that picture? That must be looking up at the ceiling, I think. Bloody good job, mate. Put a lot of effort. Oh, the floor's gone down. Look at that. Nice. Doing the skirting boards, we call that in England, by the looks of it. Wow. I think there's even some more. Holy crap. You may not be interested, but it's good to see what viewers get up to. Very skilled. Holy gosh. Proper project. I don't have time for those kind of projects at the moment, unfortunately. I would love to do stuff like that. Get me shorts on and me tool belt around my waist and off we go. I do remember sanding the floors, that's all of them, I think. Oh, there we go, look. There's still a few more. That's it, right. Bloody good, mate. Lots of skill there. Thanks for sending those through, Daniel. Appreciate that. So yes, that's why you've missed 3 live streams, and I can forgive you for that. You've done a fantastic job, mate. Mike Adams, hello Andy, you all. Hello Mike. Kill Switch, Daniel. Hi Mike Adams. Alan Cook, hi Andy. Morning Alan, good to have you on board, mate. Jim Haynes had to go to Pennsylvania last for a race. Any good? Where did he come, Jim? Jim K, a computer is a requirement if you want to use YDT. Talking the lingo, mate. Exactly. But it did turn up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and installation, updates, training, we just got it all in the afternoon. It was pretty full on, to be honest. There's still a lot more to do. I'll have to go back for another day. The dealership is nowhere near ready yet at the moment, unfortunately. There's lots of work to do. But they're confident they'll get it done. There was lots of tradies around, so maybe. Jim Haynes, but I'm back this week, and oh, don't really like Domino's pizza either. No, I only ate about half of it, to be honest, and I saved the rest for... When did I eat the rest of it? I think I ate the rest of it. I didn't eat it for lunch. No, I had it for my tea the following night. I did. I had the rest of it the following day. It stayed in the car all day, so, and all night. So 24 hours later, I had the rest of it. So I survived. I wasn't too sure. It did have some chicken on it. That was all right. Stanley Bowman. Good evening, Andy and everybody. Good evening, Stanley. Off-road fan. Good evening, Andy and crew. Wow, we've got quite a posse on this morning, haven't we? Everybody's joining in. This is great. DM. Hey, Andy. Just subscribed. Question. What are some causes of fuel to come out of one side of the exhaust? What? Are you sure it's fuel and not water? Because don't forget, for every litre of petrol that engine burns, it actually emits about a litre of water. But if you're getting, I mean, if it's a completely split exhaust system, which is unlikely, and it's a V configuration engine, then potentially one bank has got a, it's not firing on one of the cylinders, and it's just, well, not firing on any of the cylinders really, because even if one cylinder was firing, it would probably ignite the fuel in the exhaust. So I don't know, just double check it's not water. Simon, how is Matterite? Do you mean Marmite? I think you mean Marmite. Well, Marmite's doing fine. No problems at all there. We didn't have any fireworks here in the village last night, which was a bit weird, or I didn't hear any of them. I must have slept through it if there was. Obviously, it was Halloween last night. And normally, there's lots of fireworks and stuff. But, maybe they're saving them all for bonfire night. I don't know. So, Simon, just clarify that for us. Is it a spell check or a spelling mistake or what? John Bowie, hello from California. I love all the Tool Girls. Well, don't we all? And watching them work. Do you keep in touch with the old Tool Girls? Sam was my favourite. And any idea how she's doing? Yeah, I spoke to Sam. Hang on, let's find out. When did I speak to Sam? Let's have a little look. There, look. Spoke to Sam on the... hang on. It was quite a long conversation as well, I spoke to it. Jeez, hang on. I think it was the 18th of August, so not that long ago. First comment, guess who crashed their car? Oh, God. Yeah, I did offer to help her fix it, but I think she got it fixed locally because she's up in Auckland. She's doing all right. She is. I think she's still working in a little cafe, doing coffees and stuff. But I've asked her to come back on the show a couple of times, but for some reason I think it's because the workshop's so far away, she just can't make it anymore. But yeah, she was great having the workshop. Very good fun. Simon, very nice job. It was a good job. Well done, Daniel. Blackfoot, West Coast. Oh, okay. North Island or South Island? I think it must be North Island. Give me an idea whereabouts on the West Coast. A frog. Morning, frog. How's the Makita impact wrench holding up, Andy? I was thinking about getting one of those. I think you mean the big one, the half-inch drive. What is it? DTW 1002 or something. It's doing brilliantly well. There's only one job that it failed to assist me with, which was removing that swing arm bolt from the DR200s. But in all honesty, it was absolutely seized solid. You'll see that on the video, but I also did that bike strip recently as well of the donor bike that we needed the frame from, and that was just as bad. It was just absolutely solid. So asking it to do that, all it did was munch the head of the bolt, to be honest. Wasn't really ideal. Jim Haynes. Sorry, going back to Mr. Frog. Yeah, I would strongly recommend getting one. I think it's a really useful tool. It's quite heavy, but that's the price you pay, I think, for that amount of power. What was that? Oh, Daniel, I can't speak to you live, I don't think. Sorry, mate. Jim Haynes. It's pronounced San Jose, San Jose, Jersey. Okay. Mike Adams. It's still Saturday here. It's pretty much Saturday everywhere apart from New Zealand. But I was up at 4:30 this morning, drove a 160-mile round trip to pick up 13 tons of sand, then washed 7 roll-off dumpster trucks, well, lorries, where you're from, lol. Bloody hell, mate, that's ridiculously early in the morning. That's, for me, that's still the previous day. That's still Friday. Alan Cook, I got my 3D printer. Wow. You'll have a lot of fun with that, making stuff. Daniel Bedham, what do you think about the work I've done in this house? I think it's fantastic, Daniel. I really do. Sorry, I'm a bit behind on the comments. You've done a fantastic job, and stick to it because you'll be so proud of that big project when it's all finished. John. Hi, Andy and all folks in here. Good morning, John. Oh, I've just remembered, it is Tool Girl Jade's birthday today. So you can go on to Facebook, if you can find her, and you can wish her happy birthday. She's on there somewhere, but under a real name, so maybe you'll have some investigation work to do. Fireblade 2102. Morning, Andy. What pie today? No pie. There's no pie. Mrs. Mechanic didn't get me a pie. She's still in bed. No pie. Just me and you and the camera and the laptop and a very, very cold coffee. DM, it's fuel. Okay. Runs a bit sluggish until you get into third gear, 94 Vulcan 88. So I'm not familiar with... Hang on a minute. Is that a Vulcan bike? Tell me more. I need to know more about the vehicle, if you don't mind. John, I'll be visiting Guy next weekend. Hopefully have him on with me. That will be very, very cool. That's obviously Guy Martin for those that weren't on the live stream last week. Yes, it'd be very cool to have Guy Martin. I'll feel quite intimidated, to be honest. I'm going to have to try and remember some of the stuff that Guy Martin's done so I can talk to him about it. One thing I do remember is the motorcycle that went across the water. He put like a ski on the front, and that was super cool. Very impressed by that. Quite dangerous as well, though, which is most of the stuff that Guy does. Simon, was Marmite lol. Just as you said, firework one went off. Wow. Yeah, she's fine. She's all good. Charlotte's busy. Charlotte, my eldest daughter's over in Canada. She's busy making those bandanas for the dogs. She's started a XD, I don't know what you call it. Let me have a look. Bear with me. It's on here somewhere. I've got more news actually before I tell you that one. Tool Girl Holly has posted on Instagram, not under Tool Girl Holly, but under a normal Instagram page. And last night she went off and did skids in her Nissan Silvia for the first time. And there's a video. She is so bad, honestly. Let me try and find this one for you. So there we go. So if you go on to Archie the Aussie on Instagram, and then there's in the bio, there's a link to just there, look, it should take us through. There we are. And this is the little SD, I can't pronounce it, SD shop there, look. Attire by Archie on Etsy. So you can go on there, and if we scroll up, she does all these little bandanas for your dogs, which is really cool. She came up with the idea a few years ago. She made one for Marmite at one of the other houses we lived at. And now she's decided to do it as a little sideline project. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with her. And believe it or not, I actually ordered some last night for Marmite. So should be cool. But no, go on there, take a look. She's got, at the moment, much to my disgust, actually, she's done a 50% discount. Look at that. You can buy one of those for just over 10 New Zealand dollars plus postage, which is just ridiculous in all honesty. And she's even had little, she's even had little labels made up to sew onto the things as well. So she's definitely following in her father's footsteps about doing things properly. I'm very proud of her. And she messaged me this morning to say she's already had quite a few sales. So looks like she's going to be really, really busy making stuff. And she even made, to go with it, the same fabric. You can get your little dog treat pouches as well. So she's definitely, you know, really thinking about how to make it work. And those are only, what, like $15. So again, bloody cheap. And that's New Zealand dollars, don't forget, which is, you know, bugger all in reality. So yeah, very happy with that. Well done, Chalky. So yeah, Tool Girl Holly doing skids. Bad lass. Gary Garnett, what hasn't Guy done? Exactly. He's done a load of stuff now. Really sort of broadened his horizons a lot, but I believe he still keeps his day job, which I have no idea how he's managed that. Put to what I do with my little tiny YouTube channel, it sort of pales into insignificance, doesn't it, as regards effort. Daniel Bedell, I framed out and built that pantry. It's going to have a French door entrance. Nice. Fireblade 2102. Concerning impact drivers, I was going to buy one for general car work. What attachments, sprockets do I need? Can Google it, but thought I'd ask. Well, I mean, obviously you need a lot of impact sockets and things. I would also suggest that you get a good 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter as well, because sometimes you want to get in there with a 3/8. I know it's a bit dodgy with something. I mean, I wouldn't use a 3/8 on the big 1002, the 1,000 Newton meter one. Not unless you turned it right down. It would probably destroy it, to be honest. You know, some good extension bars and that kind of thing. I'm tempted to get the ones, if you're going to get them, don't get the ones that use the pin through the extension bars. Get the ones that have the little, you know, spring and ball bearing, because they're really annoying. The ones that just, they don't stay on, to be honest. But yeah, just a regular, you know, array of, you know, impact sockets and extension bars and that kind of thing. But if you're using one of those 1,000 Newton meter ones from Makita, then it really all needs to be the impact quality sockets. Don't even contemplate putting a standard socket on there, because it will just destroy it. Although I probably have in one of my videos, I'm sure. Terrible. Official Wick. Official Wick. Hi. DM. Owned for 3 years trying to sell. Starts choke on, fuel leaks out of exhaust. Idle erratic with choke off. Well, it sounds to me like you've got some kind of a misfire going on, so you need to investigate further on that, find out which cylinders are not firing, and then find out why. You know, it could be, is it fuel injected? Is it carb? Oh, mind you, if you've got choke on, then it's probably carb. Maybe one of your carbs is flooding, you know, and just pouring neat fuel through into the cylinders. You're just going to need to investigate a bit further, to be honest. Maybe it's missing spark, you know, just check for spark. It's the easy thing to check for. Mike Adams, nothing like seeing your children have an entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah, I mean, they've grown up with me, you know, in the UK when I had the off-road driving centre. We used to get all sorts of stuff made for the shop. You know, rugby shirts with all the embroidered logos on. We used to have mugs made, stickers. You know, we did a lot of online stuff. We used to sell a lot of recovery equipment online, as well as, you know, vouchers for the off-roading as well. And in the end, actually, the last few years, 80% of our sales were from the online portal, from the website, as opposed to people just turning up on site and paying on the day kind of thing. So that was a major success, really, because it was so much easier for us to plan the volume of traffic, the volume of customers per day. So yeah, no, she's doing well. She's doing really, really well. Very impressed, and good on her. I'm sure it'll do really well. I just got to, you know, do the dad thing and help promote it for her, because lots of us have got, don't we, you know, and that kind of stuff. And I think they're as cheap as chips. I mean, Christ, you know, a couple of those bandanas is still probably cheaper than one of these mugs, in all honesty. Simon, 10 New Zealand dollars is £5.15 in the UK. It is very cheap. I honestly think the half price discount, the 50% discount that she's done, it really undermines the product, to be honest. She makes them all by hand, and they're a really good quality little product. So don't sell them too cheap, Charlie. That's not what it's about. People look at the price sometimes, don't they? And you go, well, how can it be quality if it's that cheap? Is the question. Berlin Girl 26. Okay, well, morning Berlin Girl 26. Tell me more. Jerry Martinez. His Dom. What? Al Alish. Hi, Andy. Sorry I'm late. Oh, don't worry, Al. You're all good, mate. We've just been rambling on as always. DM. Yeah, why I subscribed was for your video on carb leak. Very informational. I think I will go with the carbs. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you've just got to investigate. It's very, very difficult for me to, I can just give you ideas, but for me to actually investigate or diagnose remotely is difficult. Oh, we don't want that. We'll hide that one. Jeez, that's not what YouTube's all about, is it? Okay, so what else have I got going on? Well, the title of this live stream is that, what is it? More work than time, what to do? Well, that's exactly what's happening at the moment. It's been going on ever since I came out of lockdown here in New Zealand. The work has just been piling up. As you can see, I've got Alan's CB750 behind me. The reality was yesterday that there is absolutely no way, given the amount of work that I've got coming in, that it's going to get finished by the deadline. I mean, realistically, it should already now have been delivered up to the vehicle certifier in Auckland with all the relevant documentation, because it'll take them a few weeks to get it registered back for the road, assuming that it passes. We're currently waiting for the parts for the front brake caliper. I had a chat with the vehicle certifier about that, just to put it by him. Not the guy that's going to be certifying this particular vehicle, because that would give the game away. Another lad that I know, and quite correct. Any modifications to brake components like that would fall foul of the inspection should they notice them. And he also confirmed the fact that potentially, if it could fail because there's a lot less meat on the casting once we've machined it up and put the bush in. I was looking forward to doing that work, but in reality, on this particular job, because it's got to go through cert, it's not going to happen. We have to fit new parts. And Simon, thank you very much for telling me that you could get the parts for me in the UK. I have managed to source them here in New Zealand. And from what I'm told, all the parts, that's both aluminium brackets, all new nuts and bolts and everything, new pin, the whole lot is going to cost just short of 400 New Zealand dollars, which I thought wasn't too bad, to be honest. And I was also watching a video recently that Ivan put out on a CB360. Now, his video was basically just getting the bike running out of storage. And he said it started pretty much straight away. He just drained the carbs, put fresh gas in it, and off it went. But I did spot in the video that bike does seem to have the same front brake design as this 750. It's about the same era, so it potentially should have. So it's obviously quite a common design. It's not limited to just this particular model. And because of that, obviously Honda have decided, with the fact that they wear pretty quickly, they've decided to continue to supply the parts genuine, which is only a good thing, to be honest. So all those parts are on order, probably be here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm focusing back on the ignition system side of things. I want to get that side done and finished, if I can, before those parts arrive, or at least, get it done next. And then once those brake parts turn up, I can get the brake put back together, and we can get the bike fired up and see if the new ignition system has remedied the fault. Now, one thing that I want to put that I've been saving, which is all part of the video that I did yesterday that I'm not going to use, I'm going to refilm today, is, and it's not a spoiler alert, I can just give you a quick overview. From what I found yesterday, there is quite a significant volt drop in the circuitry of the ignition system. I mean, the wiring, the current, the power feed goes from the battery through a fuse. It then goes to the ignition switch, I think it is. No, it goes to the kill switch on the handlebars, which is closed circuit when it's in the on position. And then it goes down to the ignition switch. Then it goes up to the headlight, and there's a multi-connector, pretty poor condition, in the headlight. And then it goes from there to the ignition coil. It provides the power feed to the positive side of the primary winding. And obviously from the negative side, it goes down to the points, and then parallel through the points and the condenser down to ground. And all in all, there's, I'm not going to say too much, but there is overall in that circuit, you have to watch the video for the actual findings, but there are problems. Overall, there's about a 1 volt drop in that circuitry. Now, also bearing in mind that the new ignition coils will draw more current, the volt drop will increase. Now, my thoughts are, yes, fix all of the wiring, fix all the connectors, fix the components that are causing issues. But also, in addition, because these new ignition coils are going to be drawing a lot more current, and most likely, you know, we've got the current for the ignition system and other aspects of the bike as well. The same circuit provides power for other systems on the bike as well. You know, we've got quite a high amount of current going through the ignition switch and the kill switch, and that's bad for switch contacts. So my plan of attack is, and tell me your thoughts on this, I can't see any reason why I can't do it, but why not use a relay for the ignition system? So the ignition switch, that particular circuit, rather than power directly to the ignition coils, it just triggers a relay on the, you know, on the trigger side of the circuit. And then on the load side, we run a heavy cable, you know, heavier gauge wire from directly from battery positive through a fuse, straight through the relay, and then straight to supply the ignition coils. That should dramatically reduce the length of the wiring, and it's going to give it nice new wire, new connectors, and a direct feed. So the volt drop should be substantially less, and it should be able to easily cope with the additional current flow for those heavy duty coils. Because at the end of the day, you know, the output of the coil is dependent on the input voltage. And that's something which the whole aim of this project is to maximize spark strength. So tell me what you think. That's potentially what I'm going to do. I think that'd be a great idea. Now, Blackfoot. Also, I have a problem with my old car. After replacing a cylinder head gasket, I have a problem with my camshaft. When tightening the cap on the timing belt side, the camshaft is very tight. Not get it turned. Okay, are you sure you've got the cap the right way around? Because the camshaft caps are what's called line bored, and they are specific to each cylinder head normally. So in the factory, the caps are bolted into place, and then they machine them out. So you've got to have them in order. And you've also got to have them the right way around on the head as well. So just double check all of that. And maybe if that, I mean, obviously you've had to remove the cap to do the camshaft job. Otherwise, you know, how would its state have changed? Have a little look, take it off again, have a little look and see if it's scored. It may have picked up, and it may be the aluminium that's picked up that's causing it to be tight. And if it's picked up, then you've probably got a problem with oil supply. Mike Adams, I can understand her position though. Hey up, what's this? Oh, here we go. I can understand her position though. She's still learning how to honestly price her work without overpricing the customer or shooting herself in the foot by underpricing. Same for me on woodworking. I agree completely. I mean, she's just started the store. It only opened a few days ago. And of course she wants to stimulate sales to get busy, but when you're giving away 50% of your normal retail price, there's not really very much profit left in the whole thing when you take into account the time that she takes to make them. I just don't want to sat there for hours on end making lots and lots of bandanas for people and not really getting, you know, the income from it. You know, we all have a limited amount of time, and she needs to maximize the time that she puts in as regards the reward that she gets from it. You know, are people going to come back and buy more? Maybe. I don't know. Repeat sales. If they see the prices bounce back up to the normal price and they've bought it at the half price, maybe they're going to think, oh, well, I'll hold out until she has another sale. I don't know. I'm not really a marketing kind of a guy, to be honest. Yeah, Jerry Martinez, you're going to have to just refrain from that kind of language, mate. I'm sorry. I'm going to hide that one as well. That's just not what it's about. Gary Garnett, sounds good to use a really getting max. Hang on, it's just jumped around. Sorry. Oh, sorry, Gary, you just retracted it. Simon, wherever did that volt drop is with more current passing will just get worse over time. The relay is a good way rather than a full rewire. Yeah, I mean, I'm a glutton for punishment, to be honest. I'm tempted to do both. The wiring is certainly the connectors are in very, very poor condition, and you'll see that when the video comes out. The bike, it's a lovely bike, but it obviously in the past has not been very well repaired. Certainly on the wiring side of things. I mean, you know, the engine's down on compression as well, but that I don't think the engine's been apart. In all honesty, I have no idea. It's a very old bike, and you know, we don't have all the service history available, unfortunately. But if the wiring's anything to go by, and the repairs that I've found on the wiring, if they're reflected on other repairs on the bike, and we have seen some pretty shoddy repairs on that front brake caliper mount as well. You know, somebody doing something which they think is a good idea, but in reality is not the best way to do the repair. You know, that large bolt that was put in there as a pin, you know, they're obviously not realizing the forces at stake under heavy braking. You know, so I mean, it's something that I would have probably done 20 years ago to fix the problem if it was my own bike, but it's certainly not the kind of repair that I would do on that front brake caliper if I was doing it for a customer. Absolutely not. I wouldn't want to put my name on something like that. So Simon, thanks for your comment on that. I do think the relay idea is a really good way forward. You know, we don't want such current flowing through switchgear because all it will do is cause it to demise. I've obviously got to go in and do some work on the switchgear within that circuit. I'm not going to give too much away, but you know, with the larger coils as well, all that's going to happen, you know, over a short period of time is the contacts are going to degrade further, which will lead to volt drops again and so on. So you know, yeah, cool. A relay it is. Easy as that. Jim Haynes, Bosch style relay, easy to get and 30 amps, no problem. Correct. That was exactly what I was looking at. Was a 30 amp. And a quality brand, so Bosch for sure. Blackfoot, they have numbers 1, 2, 3. What have numbers 1, 2, 3? Sorry, there's so many conversations going on, I forget. Holy crap, it's a long way back. Sorry. Blackfoot, what are you on about? Numbers 1, 2, 3. Tell me more. Still scrolling, sorry. Going back. John Nuttall. Hi Andy, more videos from you required as UK goes into full lockdown this Thursday for all of November. Holy crap. Sorry to hear that, guys. That's very serious. I imagine they're hoping to shake this COVID before Christmas so people can go and see their families and stuff. But that's going to be hard work. It really is. And I mean, you know, God knows what the economy's like now. After all, I mean, it's been dragging on a long time, hasn't it? We're not, you know, another few months and we're going to be a year with COVID, which is bad. From what I understand, New Zealand's doing pretty well. We're all in level 1 at the moment, free to travel around. Obviously, you know, take precautions where you can. I'm back out on the road again. with work. So, you know, trying to get caught up. Going to head down to the South Island in a few weeks. I'll be down there for 2 weeks on the road. Probably do a few live streams while I'm down there as well. So we'll see how things go. Simon, one thing I learned when doing jobs on the side is not to undersell yourself. You end up being a busy fool. Exactly. You've got to know how to charge. And, you know, you're always going to be in demand. If you're a good mechanic, you're always going to be in demand anyway. And the only way to sort of control the demand is supply and demand, isn't it? You just charge a bit more. And then some of those jobs will go elsewhere. And they're likely to be the jobs that you don't really want to do anyway, to be honest. I've got an ROV here, a 6-seater ROV, which I've just finished stripping down. We've got to go ahead to get all the work done, all the repairs done a couple of days ago. Jeez, dying this morning. Must have swallowed some crap. So all the parts are now ordered. That's a major job. But I've probably already put about a day's worth of work into it. I've pulled off the calipers, CVT drives all pulled off, ready for overhaul. There's probably 3 days work still to do on that vehicle, which includes a full underseal as well. And then obviously put it all back together the following week once it's cured. New steering rack to go in, the front bumper, which is an easy replace. It doesn't really take any longer because it had to come off anyway. But the front bumper had completely rotted away. I grabbed hold of the center part and it just pulled clean out. So, you know, if somebody tried to put I know they shouldn't, but some people do, they put like a recovery rope or a strop around there to pull something out or to pull it out if it's got stuck. It could have been quite serious that, you know, when they set off to tow it out, it would have just fired that part of the bumper off into the sky and it could have hit somebody. So it's what has to be done. Now then, trailer fitters toolbox videos. Hey, John Nuttall. This time I'm ready for lockdown. Have a big project to get on with, so we'll appreciate the time off. Could I do with another lockdown? I know I've got a lot of projects to do, and it would allow me to get caught up, but I really don't want another lockdown, to be honest. I've done all the racking, I've done all the steel work for the roof. I really, really have to get caught up with my day job, to be honest. Another lockdown would certainly be a solution to getting Alan's bike done, and Holly's DR200. I've got the donor frame on the workbench. I'm looking at it right now. I've still got to do the alterations to the frame for the right hand side stand. But first of all, I've got to get a tap for the right thread, and I've got to machine up, you know, a tube and thread it, and then basically cut out the frame and weld it into place. And then I can shot blast it, and then I can paint it. Then once it's painted, I'll fit the steering head bearing outer races before I paint it, and then I can start building it up. And I'm looking forward to building it. It should be a pretty quick job. Although saying that, you know, doing everything to camera takes a lot longer. But I'm looking forward to getting it done. And she's back in the workshop in like 3 or 4 weekends time. So I really have to crack on. I do. Now then. Ray Anthony Villaverde. Hi, Andy. What are your plans or projects this November? Well, carry on with the ones that I've still got. I keep putting my cigarette out. Hang on. Just under the bench here, I've got the wheels and tyres off Jared's buggy, and they protrude from the bench a little bit, and they're also covered in cobwebs and spiders and shit. And I'm a bit concerned I'm going to get a big spider on me in a minute. But I keep stuffing my cigarette out. I'll put it over here, look. There we are. So yes, continue with the CB750. Because I'm not going to hit the deadline, I think the pressure's off a little bit with that anyway. The important thing is to get it right. And I've got to remake a video that I did yesterday because of, well, I can do better, to be honest. Holly's bike's got to get done. I've got that ROV outside to do. I've got 2 more ROVs waiting to get a full service, and certainly one of them will need the brakes overhauling again as well. What else have I got? I've got some carport stuff still to do. Mrs. Mechanic wants a lawnmower, so I've got to go and get a lawnmower. I'm not going to cut the grass though, because I'll set my hay fever off. Yeah, there's just lots. There's just, oh, yeah. What else have I got to make? Yeah, talking of projects. You know, the other week I made a load of those brackets for the front number plates on a particular bike. Well, this is the other one that I have to make. This one is for a smaller capacity, similar kind of machine. Has to have a front number plate mounted here in New Zealand, and I've got 100 of these to make now. So those won't take quite as long to make as the first round, although I do still need to make a jig for that one because it's different. So yeah, that's going to be another 3 or 4 days labour to get those produced and painted and all that kind of stuff. So how do I keep my day job going? I have no idea. John Dwyer, China should pay for the virus and all the costs involved. Don't want to go there. Yeah, thanks, Simon. Kill switch, Simon. I have arthritis. We can chat about that, lol. Sounds less depressing. Mike Adams, how to price yourself is a very valuable skill in itself to learn no matter your vocation. I think you just got to know what you're worth, you know, and it's not just about the number of hours that you charge out, but it's the quality of the job that you do. Some customers don't care. They just want their car or their motorcycle to work again, and they're not too bothered about the kind of repair that you do. I tend not to entertain those kind of repairs. If I'm doing a repair, it has to be as good as I can do it. I won't say A1, but you know, there are some repairs that I'm not as skilled at doing as others. But certainly with the ROV stuff, you know, I've done a lot over the years, and I'm very confident that the work that I do is of the highest quality. And that's exactly what has to happen with those machines, because they're emergency vehicles. They have to be maintained to the highest standard, because they've got to be available for use. Oh, another job. I've got to go north on Monday afternoon and look at another ROV which has got an engine management light on, but I'm pretty sure it's just the ignition switch, and I've already got one in stock, so that hopefully will be a quick fix. I've asked the chap to do a bit of diagnostic for me before I get there, just to eliminate that particular factor. So if it's not the ignition switch, which can cause the engine management light to come on that particular model and brand, it's not a fault code, it's a backfeed. So don't go down that rabbit hole. Now then, Simon, have you not got M10 by 1.25 tap? I have, but it's not M10 by 1.25. I want to make it exactly the same thread as it should be. I could do that, Simon. I could do it, but it's not. It's a fine thread. It might be 1.25 actually. So no, I haven't. I've got the 1.5 tap, not the 1.25. And it's not a 1.5, it's 1.25. So I'll go and get one. I have very limited number of taps. I've got like M4, M5, M6, M8, M10, M12, and M14, and that's all I've got. Pretty much, you know, and the dies to go with them. I didn't even buy a complete set. I've just got oddments that we used to use specific ones in the UK for certain jobs, and that was it. So, yeah. We'll be at 8 or a 10. Yeah, looking at it from here, it's going to be a 10. I could dig out the bolt, but I can't be bothered. Jim Haynes, lockdowns for me and my wife equal no money coming in, as we are all commission people. Wow. It's hard, isn't it, Jim? It really is. Sorry to hear that, mate. Ron Talbot, I'm just catching up. First time watcher. I think a relay is a great idea, but I would recommend you make sure you use a solid state relay, since they are magnetic type with no contacts to wear. I'll look into that, Ron. Thank you for that. Big Rock. Ron Talbot, true, no contacts to wear, but susceptible to heat and voltage spikes. Everything has an up and a downside. Ooh, we've got a dilemma going on now. I was just actually going to use a normal relay, to be honest. And obviously I won't locate the relay close to the ignition coils, because there's a shit ton of magnetic field going on around there. The relay will be down by the battery, no doubt. Chris Rivers, hello from Barcelona. I used to live in Barcelona, well, in a little place called Terrassa. not too far away. I lived with a family there. Jamie Torres, I think his surname was, or Jaime Torres. Oh my word, Irino Street in Teresa. Hope that family is still good, actually. They were very, very accommodating, great family, and I did go to see them a couple of years after I lived there, just to check on them and everything. And this is a long time ago, but they were fine then. But man, he'll be an old chap now. He will. Theory 816. Electric impact or air impact? Well, I actually prefer the electric. Tool Girl Holly prefers air. I prefer the electric, mainly because it's more portable, and I do on-site work as well. Plus, for the videos, you don't get the airline hissing in the background all the time. And I think maybe they're a little bit quieter. I've never bothered to measure it, but again, for editing the videos and stuff, you can just about cope with the electric impact without having to bring the volume down too much when I'm editing, as long as it's not on for too long. Let me know, because there's a lot of that stuff on the next video that's coming out. Ron Talbot, Big Rock, true, but assuming they won't be in a hot location. No, it won't be hot around the battery. Leah Lee, don't know. Man, we're getting some weird spammy stuff coming through these days, aren't we? What's going on there? Chris Rivers, Teresa, yes. Another one. Oh, okay, we've got a child on board. Well done. Okay, I'm going to hide that as well. Goodbye, child. Right. Theory 816, snap on or go cheap. Well, there are lots of other good quality brands of tools out there. I know Snap-on has that sort of charisma about it, and they do spend a lot of their revenue on making bespoke tools, you know, the limited run tools for certain jobs. But I think for your normal regular daily use tools, you don't have to go down the route with Snap-on. It's very expensive, especially if you're just starting out in the industry. It can be a huge cost right at the start, which you don't really need. Personally, you know, I use the Teng tools. I think they're very good quality for what they are price-wise. And I have a lot of Teng stuff. Not all of it has been given to me by ISL Industrial. You know, a reasonable chunk of the recent stuff is stuff that I've actually purchased because I need it, you know, at the end of the day. And I don't believe it's fair to ask them to give me everything that I want for free. I do try to support them. And I do recommend their tools. You know, I have no problems with them. I mean, the spanners and the socket set that I've got in the toolbox just there has been in use now. It's done all the videos. It's been in use now for about 4.5, nearly 5 years. And yeah, there's a bit of wear on some of the sockets, only because I put them on the impact wrench. The 10mm socket's looking pretty dire at the moment. I have got a new spare one that I bought because I lost my, as we all do, I lost my original for about 2 weeks. And then found it underneath one of the rackings on the floor. But yeah, just investigate. You know, I mean, there are cheap tools out there. I don't recommend that you buy the real cheap stuff because it won't last 5 minutes. But you don't have to buy Snap-on, is what I'm trying to say. There are other good quality brands out there that have equal, you know, lifetime warranties and stuff. Connor K, sorry, Andy, got here late. That's all right, Connor. You're forgiven, mate. No problem at all. The time change caught me out. 37 likes and over 110. What? Holy moly! 100. We've never had over 100 people watching. That is incredible. Welcome, everybody, the whole audience. Thank you very much for joining. I really, really appreciate it. I'm just sat here rambling on and answering your questions. So hopefully it's appealing. If you're enjoying the video, click on the like button. Why not? Yeah, I got a little one of those click the like button sayings out there. I always forget to do that. Good to have you on board, Connor. Thanks for joining us. Mike Adams. Oh my word, what's going on there? It went black. Mike Adams. It seems to never fail. No matter how many taps, dies, bolts, nuts, screws you have collected, more often than not, you have every shape and size, but the shape and size you need at the moment. That's right. And you know, I want to do that frame properly and make it look original. So I'll just get what I need. I don't mind spending the money. That's what projects are all about. You do it once, do it right. And the same goes for Alan's CB750. You know, there's some of the repairs that I'll be doing on that will be way over and above what needs to be done, and the costs relating to that over and aboveness I'll be covering myself. Can't expect Alan to pay for those things. He has paid for all the electronic ignition system, by the way, the Dana coils and stuff. But there's some stuff that I'll be paying for, which is just part of what I do. It's not, that bike isn't here to create a profit. That bike is a project bike, and it's very, very different. It's done for my learning experience, for a bit of entertainment for me, and you know, for you guys as well. That's why I'm doing the videos. It's interesting stuff and things that you don't usually get to work on, or I don't anyway. What did Ivan say? Blast from the past. That's exactly what it is. Drew Dastardly in the UK, get a trade card and buy the Halfords professional tools with lifetime guarantee. Infinitely cheaper than Snap-on. I've heard that the Halfords professional range of tools is actually really, really good. Quite a few people have recommended those over the years from the UK. So yes, do that. Not a problem. Kill switch. Big thumbs up to Drew. David Osolo. You're welcome, mates. Not a mechanic myself, but the YouTube algorithm sent me here. Wow. Interesting. I do believe that the YouTube algorithm really likes creators that do regular live streams. And, you know, I suppose that's probably one of the reasons why I wanted to explore that avenue and keep up with these live streams on a Sunday. Because we only started doing these really because of the original lockdown here in New Zealand. And I wouldn't say I had nothing else better to do. That wasn't the case. I've got lots of things to do, but I thought it was a perfect opportunity to try and find out what's really going on in the rest of the world, but also let you know what's happening here and what I'm getting up to when I'm stuck at home for so many weeks. I think I was at home for, was it 7 or 8 weeks? It was quite a while. David Osolo, like striked. Cheers, matey. Thank you for that, David. Simon Roll, looking at the Amazon Basic socket set, it looks very much like the Halfords Advance. Don't know the quality though. I'm always very dubious about buying stuff off Amazon. I really am. I think it's quite hit and miss. Mrs. Mechanic does a lot of crafting stuff, and she used to buy it from a place in the UK, Create and Craft. Anyone know about that? And because of I suppose the problems with freight, delays in freight getting around the world, she's had no end of problems with parcels going missing, having to get credits for them. She's bought a machine for cutting out, it's like a die stamp machine, electric, and you put the cardboard, the paper through, and it cuts it out. That machine broke, and trying to get a refund for that was, well, they basically said, no, you've got to send it back, and it's not worth the freight, the postage to send it all the way back to the UK just to get a credit. So looks like I'm gonna have to try and fix it myself at some point, maybe. Jim K. Andy, did you change the calendar? I did. Look, I did. I actually did put some red tape on. In fact, we're going to have a look at the calendar. How's that? Let's do a turnaround. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm going to unplug you. Right. A little walk around the workshop because we've got so many new viewers on. You haven't all seen the workshop, have you? So there you go. Look, we've got on the bench, we've got Holly's new frame that's going to go on a DR200. We've got all the new racking that I did. So all the roll cabs are underneath, the racking's up on the wall. And then obviously this is the steel work that I did to get rid of the wall that ran down the middle of the workshop. So there's lots, literally thousands of hours work gone into this workshop. But here is Miss November. There you go, look. And she's got the red tape. So we're all YouTube compliant. Well done, Forge. Thank you for that. So I think the red tape's pretty good. It's sort of, there you go, look, perfect. And then walking down here, we've got the regular toolbox. Oh, I could do a toolbox tour, but I don't need to do really, do I? I suppose I should. There you go. That's that socket set I was on about earlier on. And they're the condition of the sockets. They're doing all right. I don't really keep them that clean. I'm pretty bad. They're there. It's a toolbox to be used. It's not a toolbox for show. Yeah, the old 10mm socket's looking a bit worn now, to be honest. Still works, but I really should replace that one. I've got one somewhere. I don't know where. But yeah, we've got multimeter. What else have we got? Oh, that's the socket set that I'm going to be giving away in December, together with lots of other stuff. Deep sockets, 3/8 drive, non-impact, but they get used for impact. There you go, look, pretty cool, eh? All looking quite shiny at the moment. There you go. Very Tang, isn't it? There's a lot of Tang stuff going on. What else have we got? Oh, yeah, so we've got the 1/4" drive socket there, look. These are all stuff from the UK that I had for my other tools. Wow. It's all looking very posh at the moment. Nice. Yeah. I think that's a battery, electronic battery tester. And that's the old handheld scope that I had. Makita drawers coming up. There you go. That grinder is bloody awesome. 1700 watts of pure power. Oh, I can't get to the label, it's under there, look. Oh well. There you go. Really, really good bit of kit. Really, it just eats metal away. It's fantastic. What else have we got? Oh, gear case filler. Very useful. We've got Tool Girl Lilli. Hello, Lily. Oh, and this is the Tool Girl cabinet. For those that don't know, this is where the girls keep all their gear. Look at that. Honestly, I have to work in an environment like that. It's terrible, isn't it? Oh, and it also doubles up as my paint storage cabinet as well. So, yeah, and other stuff. Clean zone, that's what that is. Tyre machine that hasn't been used for a while. That's got an old engine sat on it. And coming across over here, look, we've got back to the racking. There you go. Quick scan, because I know some of you guys have seen all this before. So there you go. Now, in that cupboard there is all my secret special stuff that can't be shown on camera. And Jim Kay will know all about that, as will Simon and a few others. But yeah, we've got quite a few sort of roll cab things going on. It works really, really well now. I can pull all of these out and increase the floor space. And this is really the metalworking area with the pillar drill. Sorry, it's really bright. I'm trying to avoid that. I've got a spare set of drawers that I can't find a home for at the moment. And we have got the press mounted on the same bracketry. Now, all that is mounted off some framework that's bolted to the side of the shed, which is also bolted. If I can get to one, go down this end again, look. Really quick, because I know you guys, some of you guys have seen this already, but if you look up there, you see that brace? Because I had to fit 5 of those braces. Braces. There you go, look, another one up there. And all that holds the weight of all that racking back, and it connects it to the main superstructure of the workshop, so it's not going to go anywhere. And it didn't go anywhere. There's probably 700 or 800 kgs of gear, including the racking, on that wall, and I think there was about 1 degree of deflection once it was all loaded up, so I'm pretty happy with that. And of course, we've got Alan's CB750 looking in a pretty poor state at the moment. I keep taking bits off, but yes, I did refit the ignition coils. I'm not going to show too much because it'll give it away on the video that's going to be coming out shortly. But yeah, we're getting there. It's got no front brake at the moment, so it makes it quite interesting pushing it in and out of the garage all the time when it hasn't got a front brake. But yeah, so it's wiring time. Got lots of wiring stuff to do. Right, okay, I think we've covered everything. Oh, lastly, the stickers. They are, look, just to give an update. Obviously SMA, Ichiban, Calvin's Corner, Eric, Steve Robb, they're all there. Jacko's Small Engines, MCR's, a motorcycle shop in Dunedin. If you've got a sticker, send it in. I'll put it somewhere, either on the toolbox or on the cabinet. And of course, we've got Machine NZ, that's a new one, and we've got the Symphony Diagnostic Stronger Together as well. So yeah, pretty cool. It all works. Right, going back to the bench. So how are we doing? I'm back. Are we there? We are. Oakley dokley. So you saw the calendar picture. We have got Miss November up on the wall. Good job, Jared. But Jared, November, I've only got one more month left, and I'm going to run out of calendar girls. So you need to send me the next one. So, oh my word. Let's go back up. Simon, yes, my Mrs. Crafts too. I call it creating carp. What? I know that Mrs. Mechanic makes an awful lot of mess. Bits of paper and cardboard and stuff, but she does some good stuff. She's very dedicated towards it, and it keeps her out of trouble. That's for sure. Keeps her occupied. She likes doing it. Bergman, sorry, V4 Bergman, is Sam coming back or has she quit? Well, Tool Girl Sam hasn't been in the workshop for a very long time. She lives up in Auckland, and the workshop now is down near Taupo, central North Island of New Zealand. And realistically, it's about a 3 to a 3.5 hour drive from where she lives to get down here, which is a very long way for a day's work. I don't think she's going to come back. She's progressed a lot more in a modeling career now, like a lot of the tool girls do. They tend to come down to the Andy Mechanic channel and be a tool girl for a period of time until they get known, and it certainly does get them known, there's no doubt about that, and then their modeling career tends to take off from there on. And we've seen the same thing repeat with a number of the different tool girls. You know, you've got tool girl Hannah, she's now over in Australia, very successful in her career over there, doing extras for TV work, adverts, photo shoots. She's busy. She really is. She's doing well. Tool girl Harley, the very first one, again, you know, she was only on the show for one, really filmed for one day, and then her career took off. You know, I mean, can't ask for any better than that. Tool girl Holly, the current tool girl, she tends to come down. She's happy to come down to do a full weekend's filming, which makes it a lot better for me. We can really get some work done. But she's not really a model. She's not from that background like the other girls. She is from the industry. She was a full-grown, mechanic, full-blown mechanic, working on old muscle cars for a few years. And prior to that, she was one of my students at Unitech. So, you know, she's not going to get drawn away in the same way as the other girls are, and she doesn't look at that as a career. Although maybe she should. I don't know. Tool Girl Lilli, she again, you know, very busy with her career now. She has got a 9-to-5 job, but a modeling side of things has really taken off again. So Lily's not going to be back on the show either, I don't think. So we've only really got Tool Girl Holly at the moment. I do keep my eye open. You know, hopefully we can try and recruit maybe a tool girl that's a bit more local to the new workshop. But trying to find, girls with the right, the right attributes, and I don't mean that physically so much. I mean, the actual ability to work to camera, to want to get grubby in the workshop and pick up tools and do stuff and have an interest in it, because it's got to be genuine. Very, very difficult to find, to be honest. I will keep my eye open though. We'll have to wait and see how things pan out. So V4 Bergman, I don't think we're going to see Sam back in the workshop, but I am still in contact with her, and maybe she's going to come down this way for a holiday sometime. Maybe she could drop in and do a day's filming and then carry on with her trip. Maybe that would work. We'll have to try and organise something if she's keen. I just can't make any promises. Osman471, morning Andy. I use Franklin tools and not the cheapest, but haven't broken one yet. Yeah, I think the important thing is stay away from the really cheap tools. There isn't such a thing as a good cheap tool. You do get what you pay for at the end of the day. V4 Bergman, back again. I am more of a Kamasa guy myself, but Tang makes good things too. Yeah, I mean, my first socket that I ever bought was a Tang tool socket set, and that was at college, and it never let me down. I mean, I don't think I've got many of it left anymore. I think a lot of it's disappeared. But no, they work for me, and I'm happy to pay the price for what they are. I think they're good value for money. And Ben, also my lad, he's also very Tang orientated now as well. Follows in his dad's footsteps. And talking of Ben, before I carry on the comments, just going to brush this idea by you. As some of you know, I'm a qualified Shimano bicycle mechanic. I got qualified the first year I was here in New Zealand because I just wanted to do something a little bit different to working on motorbikes and cars for a while. But since because of the immigration side of things and the job that I had to have in New Zealand, they took bicycle mechanic off the skills shortage list at the time, so I had to get back into the car industry. to be able to get a work visa. And I've really sort of stuck with that ever since, although I had a 5-year teaching period at Unitech, which was, again, teaching about automotive stuff. Ben, however, he also started working for the same company in the bicycle industry as I did. He started a few months after me, and I think he was still only, he might have just turned 16 when he started. And he's worked there ever since. And now he is service manager for one of the leading stores in New Zealand for that company. I think it's called 99 Bikes now. It used to be Bike Barn, and then it got bought out by this 99 Bikes from Australia. He is now service manager, and he's doing really well for himself. He's still at uni. He's still doing papers at uni as well in the background. But I said to him, hey, Ben, you know, at some point, this channel is going to have, you know, I'm not going to be, potentially, it sounds really morbid, doesn't it? But I'd like to introduce Ben into the channel to get him to do a few videos, build his confidence in doing videos, because there's a lot of stuff on modern day bicycles which is really complicated and quite a specific skill. And he has that skill set. He's got 10 years of experience now working on you know, mountain bikes, road bikes, lots of e-bikes now. He does suspension rebuilds on the front forks. I don't think he's done the rear shocks so much, but the front forks for sure. He's done a lot of those. A lot of conversions, you know, fitting different componentry to frames, making things work. So he's very skilled. So I said, look, get yourself down here, take a week off work over the Christmas period, maybe come down and we'll bring some bikes with you, bring some parts and tools and stuff, and we can smash out some videos on doing bikes. And Ben, eventually, hopefully, he's going to be the lead presenter, and I can focus a bit more on asking the questions and doing the filming. So is that something that you would like to see? You know, some repairs on bicycles, tuning of gears, doing a service, rebuilding front forks, you know, all that kind of stuff, e-bike stuff as well. Let me know, because Ben's keen, and if he does that, and I can get him to see the benefits, then obviously he may well start his own YouTube channel. And if he does, then he's starting it at the right age. He's getting in there a lot earlier on than I did in my schedule of life, so to speak. So yeah, let me know, because I think I can convince him to come down. And it'd be quite nice to do some different stuff for a while. Oh, my cigarette's gone out. Right, hang on. David Solo. Mechanics don't really need a room with a view, do they? I mean a window, not the calendar. No, I tell you, I deliberately sort of blocked off the fact that the only one window we've got in here. There's a lot of garden stuff growing up against it again now. For the camera, natural light tends to cause a lot of problems with the camera. It tends to make it go, you know, react and go a lot darker, and you've got to manually change all the settings. And believe it or not, all my videos are filmed on a phone. Most of them on an old, previously up until recently, an old S6 Edge, believe it or not, a Samsung, which did really, really well. I have, in the last sort of 6 months, upgraded to an S20, which I'm very, very happy about. And I only use the S20 for filming. That's it. I don't use it as a normal phone during the day. I've still got my old S6 for that. So yeah, no windows. Don't want windows. Windows are bad when it comes to making videos and stuff. But yes, I do like having the calendars around. It's all part of an automotive workshop, isn't it? Simon, when it comes to screwdrivers, you can't beat vessel screwdrivers made in Japan. I know, Simon, I still need to get myself, what is it? The Japanese standard screwdrivers. I still haven't got a set. Every time I come to order them, I forget. So I need to order some. It's only when I actually come to undo a screw now and again, the screwdriver doesn't quite fit properly, that I think, oh, Simon's going to hate me for this. I haven't got the right screwdriver. Mike Adams, I don't know about you, but I get a kick out of seeing the shocked look on young techs that can't figure out how to diagnose an older vehicle without a computer when we old guys do it in seconds, lol. Yes, there's some very quick tricks to diagnosing faults on old carburetor, points ignition kind of stuff, exactly like the old CB750 here. Simon, Mike Adams, points and carbs law. Yes, exactly. Mike Adams, Simon Roy, life my ass off. Yes. Mike Adams, headlight dimmer switch on the floorboard, lol. Like the old Land Rovers. Simon, Mike, that's real old school. It sure is. A bit before my time, to be honest. Choppers Rule 1. Good day, mate. How's it going? It's going really well. We've had a record number of viewers at this live stream. I've never had over 100 viewers, which is just mind-blowing. It's great to see things escalating the way they are. I wish I had a bit more content for you today, since there's so many people watching. I do have something. Actually, moving on. I'll come back to the comments in a minute. Mrs. Mechanic bought a new car. Oh, it's a little Suzuki Swift. It's a silver one. It's nothing posh. It's not the GTI or anything like that. And the company she bought it from was Winger up in Auckland. They have Winger Motors on the torch there. There's the sticker. And they gave her a kit to go with the car, which I thought was really nice of them. And it included this torch. And she came to me the other day and said, "Oh, I think my torch needs some new batteries. It doesn't work anymore." So, I thought, okay, well, how do I get into it? And first of all, I undid the top bit, just this bit here. It's really well made, actually. Probably made in China, but it's well made. So I went in through the top, and I thought, oh, maybe I put the batteries in here, and I pulled this little bit out, which is a really snug fit. Well, good tolerance. But realistically, that's just the LED lights. And I couldn't get any further. It's cleaning out. So I thought, well, maybe, just maybe, it's in the far end. And I was turning this as hard as I could. I even had it in the vise. I couldn't get it to shift. Anyway, eventually we got it to open. So I opened it up. A bit quicker than this. There we go, very fine thread. And inside, obviously, is where the batteries go. It's only a torch. We all know how torches work. But the batteries, the end battery, the one down here, had completely corroded and it had swollen and it had jammed in the tube. And it took me ages I was determined to save the torch for her. I still don't know if it works or not yet, so we're going to find out very shortly. So I actually got I got my drill and I drilled through that battery and broke it all up and managed to extract it with some long nose pliers. And then fortunately, the second battery wasn't so bad. That actually came out almost under its own steam. But then I had a big cleanup operation to do, and I think I've got the contacts pretty clean. Got the old spring down there. You can see a bit of corrosion on the spring, but I did clean it up best I could. Wire brush and sandpaper and stuff. So we're going to find out if it still works, and if it does, then I've definitely earned a few brownie points doing that. So I sent her out to buy some new batteries. So that's what she bought. She came back. These were very expensive. $6.99 of our children's inheritance spent on these batteries. So we're going to pull those out and we're going to find out together if I've managed to fix the torch. Now, I know this isn't riveting. People sometimes like this kind of thing. And it is a nice torch. It's got a bit of weight behind it. And I suppose weight means quality, doesn't it? Come on, camera. Thank you. Right, so positive goes in. That's 1. And 2. Ooh, is it going to work? It could even be switched on. I don't know. Is it switched on? No, it's not. Right. So wind that back in. If it doesn't work, I'll kick myself now because I sent her out to get batteries. Right, I'm going to press the button. Are you ready? Oh. It doesn't work. Oh, okay, further diagnostics required on the torch. Oh, there you go, look. Give it a tap and it works. Fantastic. Standard Yorkshireman, give it a clout. See what it's all about. There you go. Fixed. Very happy. It's a bit dodgy on the switch. Maybe it needs some contact cleaner in there. Yes, it's a switch problem. Okay, right, we've fixed the torch. Need to clean the switch contacts. Other than that, it's good to go. So the Winger torch for a little Suzuki lives again. And she did leave the batteries in for 3 years. So no wonder they failed. She needs to be a bit more, service her torch more often. Right, there you go. I almost forgot to do that. So you keep putting me off with all your comments. Right, let's have a little look back. Now then. Right, Choppers Rule 1. G'day, mate. How's it going? It's going really well. Drew Dastardly. These young wayward girls, I know, mate, it's just hard. The tool girls, they're hard to look after, they really are. Holly is great, she really is. Chopper's rule 1, I will do the job, mate, but I don't have the legs. I don't have the legs for it, lol. The Jigsaw Nutter. Tang is very good for the money, keep it up. I believe it is. I think it's good value, and again, you get a lifetime guarantee, so you can't go wrong. Drew Dassley, oh, I love Sheldon Brown, rest in peace, and also Zin's art of mountain bike maintenance. I've not watched any of those. Check those out. Kill switch. I could send my missus over. She can live in a shed. Loves getting stuck into making and building stuff. Loves the toolkit I got her a few years ago. Was meant as a joke present, but loved it. Wow, good man. Well done. It wasn't one of those pink ones, was it? They do for for the female variety. But are you secretly trying to get rid of your wife? I don't know what's going on there, but you can send her over if you like. It's not a problem. I'm sure we'll find her some work to do. Simon, do some bike stuff. Grip shift is a dark art to me. Oh man, yeah, the old grip shift where it's like the 3-speed on the grip. Oh, they are with the Archer gears at the back. Yeah, they take a bit of setting up. The little shifters on the bars for your for your derailleurs and stuff. You can adjust change the gearing at the front and the rear. I remember when I was working on the bicycles, and this is a long time ago now. The grease often would go hard in those little shifters, and you had to strip them down. Take the plastics off, and then spray the crap out of them with like WD-40 or something to dissolve all the grease, and then re-grease them again and build them back up, and then readjust the gears, tune the gears. We called it, didn't we? Tune the gears, and away you go again. And often, I would do that as part of the service on the bicycle. A lot of shops didn't bother with that kind of stuff. They would just leave the shifters as they are, but it's part of the job, isn't it? Making sure that everything's nice and slick and working properly. And of course, you'd take all the cables off, you'd lube them all, put them all back on again, readjust them, and replace any inners that had frayed and things or gone corroded. It was a big job. A shop doing a full service on a bike in an hour, it's not a full service. It used to take me probably half a day. And that would include taking the gear cassette off the rear wheel, degreasing all that, degreasing the chain, man, checking all the wheel bearings, probably re-greasing the head bearings if they weren't seal bearings. There was so much work to do, but I used to crank it out. And Ben learnt from me. That's how he got his base knowledge. And now, man, he knows so much more than I will ever know. I've not been in the bicycle industry now for probably 9 years. I've had no contact. So things have evolved an awful lot since then. And it's great to see that he's really built his skill set. V4 Bergman. Fun to hear about the Shimano. I am myself a car mechanic, but I work with bikes, skates, and waxing skis, as I can't work on cars more than a hobby. Own my own Saab V4 and 93 or 9-3 or Saab 93 due to my arthritis. Wow. Yeah, it is. Working on cars is hard work. A friend of mine, one of my ex-students, Ashton, he was living over in Australia, and he got a job as a heavy diesel mechanic, and he was only doing it for 2 years, I think. But it broke him. It was such hard work. His body now aches. In actual fact, they were working one of the worst ones. He had an accident, and he was working on a truck, and the cab was tilted up. And the guy that had tilted the cab up didn't put the locking pin in properly. And anyway, sure enough, the cab fell down on him. On both of them, the other lad managed to get out just in time, whereas Ashton was trapped over the top of the front tyre and the cab. I wouldn't say the full weight of the cab was on him, pinning him down, but certainly some of the weight was down on him, and he couldn't get out. And since then, he's had back problems ever since. So I've told him to go and get it checked out, but he's like, "Oh, I'll be all right, mate. It's getting better." But that was like 8 months ago. He needs to get sorted. And working on cars, it is hard on you. It really is. That's one of the reasons why I prefer to work on bikes, to be fair. They're nowhere near as hard on your body. Mike Adams, Andy, have you seen the motorized bicycles that seem to be becoming the rage now? Yes, e-bikes. Or do you mean the ones with the petrol engine conversion? Because they did get popular in New Zealand for a while, but it seems, and they were very bespoke builds. The e-bike stuff is your regular, everyday, sort of domestic bike. There's thousands and thousands of them in Auckland now. If so, have you considered building your own design? I haven't. Ben has. He's far more into bicycles than I am. He has considered putting a petrol engine on a mountain bike, but he never got around to doing it. He's far more into his e-bike stuff now. A friend of mine down in Queenstown has built his own mountain bike, which has got 1,000-watt hubs front and rear. And man, that thing really shifts. It goes incredibly well for what it is. Easily 50, 60k an hour down the high street, no problems at all. And off-road, it's just phenomenal. But no, I've not yet. Maybe one day in the future, who knows? Colin Furs is into that kind of stuff. He makes all sorts of weird and wonderful projects with bicycles and skid carts and stuff. Very cool channel. I mean, he's got millions and millions of subscribers, so very popular chap now. Jim K, Andy, I'm sure you are familiar with the JIS. Yes, I am familiar. I don't own any though, Jim. I need to get a set. Cross-type screws. I have got myself a set of screwdrivers, and they are amazing. I need to get myself a set, Jim. Can you just email me where you got them from, and I'll place an order for those. I need to get those sorted out. It's one thing that's missing from my arsenal. And Simon, Mr. Rawle, constantly reminds me that I'm using the wrong screwdriver, which I know I am. It's funny as hell, to be honest. V4 Bergman still have my first Kamasa socket wrench kit I got when I was 17, as I am even more careful not to lose them, as I am losing pretty much everything else. Yeah, you do. You get attached to your tools. You don't want to lose them, do you? Torch looks like it needs an 18650 with some shims. You want me to put lithium-ion batteries in it? I don't think so. Simon, why not change the battery to a LiPo with a battery protection board and a USB charging port? Well, I could do that, Simon, but it is just a torch at the end of the day, and I have got a lot of other projects to do. So, yes, I could do that. I could. Don't give me ideas. Stop it. I haven't got time. Chopper's Rule 1. When I was 17, I bought my first Sidchrome socket set, and I still have it. You've got to keep hold of the stuff. I bought Ben when he was about 13. I bought him his first socket set. I can't even remember the brand. So long ago. It was in a blue plastic expandable kind of box. And the hinges have all broken, and he's repaired the hinges. He's put some little straps on there and riveted them on. And he's still got, I think, all bar one of the sockets in there. I think one of the ones that he's missing is an Allen key type socket, you know. But all the rest he's still got, and the ratchet still works. And I remember writing on it, because to keep the staff off Ben's tools, I wrote on it, Ben's socket set, do not touch. And it's still got that on the front. And that must have been 14 years ago. It was a while ago. Very pleased that he managed to bring them to New Zealand. That's the important thing, not left them behind. Chopper's Rule 1. When I was, Osman 471. If in doubt, give it a clout. Bigger the doubt, bigger the hammer. Lol. Yep, I know, it worked. Just give it a little tap. It's like the old TVs when they what was it? They used to flick up slowly, and you give them a good whack on the side, and they'd stabilise, and you'd watch telly again. Drew Dastardly, those hub gears, the Archer ones always amaze me with the planetary gears and stuff. Yeah, the first time I got introduced to planetary gears was in a winch, believe it or not. I never really pulled those apart as a kid, because my bicycles used to have them, but they always seemed to work. And when the bike didn't work, it would go to the bike shop and it would get fixed, or go to Dad's garage, and the service manager, Harry, he would fix it for me. Yeah, planetary gears, you also come across them a lot in the old school, in fact, probably even current automatic transmissions as well. Very, very cool, planetary gear sets. Kill Switch, no, it wasn't a pink set. Sorry, mate. She's not that kind of girl, and if it sounds like I'm trying to get rid of her, I am. She's doing my nutting, man. I might have to retract the offer of sending her over if she's like that. Then I might have a problem. I have enough on my plate over here as it is. Mike Adams, Andy, you did the flashlight torch test wrong. You're supposed to be looking straight into the bulbs when you screw the cap on and click the switch. I've never done that much, lol. I have done that, where you look at the torch and you're like, is it going to work? And you turn it on and of course it blinds you in the eyes. But I was doing it to camera. I was trying to show you guys it coming on rather than just, anyway. So that was the saving grace on that one. Jim Haynes, Teng sponsors a lot of the Speedway bike races, and Speedway bike races are great. Yes, Teng do a lot of sponsorship around New Zealand, especially. Speedway, in fact, talking of sponsorship, Jared at Forge just managed to get his livery, his decals on a what kind of car is it? It's just what do they call it? It's like a saloon car racing, I suppose. I think it's V8 racing here in New Zealand. Tarmac, obviously, tarmac track. And for the first time, he's got his Forge stickers across the front. And the same car, I believe, from memory, also has the Teng logos on as well. And Teng, obviously, as you know, sponsor a lot of companies, a lot of race teams around New Zealand. It's very, very high profile for them. And they're also sponsoring the yacht, the New Zealand yacht racing as well. The up and coming one, whenever that is, next year maybe, year after next, I don't know, I forget. But they're sponsoring that, so there's a lot of money and effort goes into supporting those race teams from many different sort of types of racing, I suppose, as well. Anything that's motorized, they get well involved with. And it's nice to have them support the channel. It really is. They've been a great supporter right from day one, and always very, very helpful. They really are. Connor K, the torch is operational after introducing a technical tab, which closed the air gap. It did on the switch. Fortunately, this is not a device where letting the smoke out will result in failure. She's going to be happy it works. I still need to clean those switch contacts. I can't send it back like that because she'll say it's still got a fault. And I won't get a bacon butty this morning. Off-road fan, I bought my vessel JIS screwdrivers via Amazon Marketplace. They were delivered directly from Japan. Okay, send me a link if you can find it on there. Send me the item number or something so I can search it out and get those ordered, because I do need to order them. And if you found that they're good quality, I'll go with that. Simon Roll, lol, I know I go on, but rightly so, Simon. But until you use just a JIS on a JIS, the difference is unreal. They're on sale on Amazon at the minute. The vessel impactor, okay, about 30 quid at the minute. Right, today, Simon, I will order some. I've got a few spare dollars in the YouTube account. I will order some. Chopper's Rule 1. I am off, mate. I am painting cookies sled rod today. Have a great day, everyone. Okay, no problem at all, Chopper's Rule. Enjoy your painting. Have fun. Don't make too many mistakes like me. I'm really crap at painting, believe me. There's quite a few runs on these beams, and even those brackets that I sprayed up, there was 1 or 2 runs. Wasn't a lot, but I still wasn't. You kick yourself. It's like you try and do the best job you can. I hope I don't get too many runs on Holly's frame, actually. That sounded terrible, didn't it? Motorcycle frame. Now then, Mike Adams, I have a 1/2-inch drive Craftsman ratchet that my dad bought me in the mid-70s. Wow. We've even used 6-foot long, don't do that, cheetah bars on it at times, and it still works like new. Oh, you can't do that. That's harsh. Chopper's Rule. Yes, I can show that. That's all right. Don't forget to check out my video on it. I will do that. I will do that, definitely. So obviously the video's not out just yet. It's going to be out soon, right? Okay. I will notify myself to do that. Okay. What are we on? 85 viewers. We've had a tremendous number of viewers today. Really sustained viewership. It is starting to drop off a little bit now. Hopefully you're enjoying this video. It's a bit of a, ad hoc, off the cuff kind of a video, like a lot of these live streams are, but it's good to talk. That's what it's all about, and answer your questions and get some feedback and talk about tools and have a little look around, around the workshop and have another cigarette, I suppose. And an hour and 40 minutes has already passed. That is ridiculous. Chopper's Rule. Bye, everyone. See you around Chopper's Rule. And Kill Switch BB. Bye, Chop. So, last cigarette. We've got 2 or 3 minutes left while I smoke this, just to answer your last few questions before I sign off. Before I go, my job today, like I was saying, is I'm going to redo a video on Alan's CB750K2, which was a video that I filmed yesterday. It hasn't gone out. I didn't even bother to edit it. I watched some of the rushes late last night, and I really wasn't very happy with it. The main issue is we need to give make the spark as strong as we possibly can on this bike, and part of the diagnostic to find out what the problems are, we found issues with the not so much with the coils themselves, but with the HT leads, plug caps, and more importantly, and this is what the video is about, the actual circuitry, the wiring to do with the ignition system on that bike is in a terrible state. And that video, when it goes out, hopefully later next week, will highlight what I've found. I know what the problems are now because I've already done the video once, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to refilm it and do some tests in a slightly different way to try and highlight the problems in a bit more depth. And in a way that are easier for some viewers to, oh, that was weird. Some viewers, that aren't that experienced to understand. Daniel Bedell, have you ever used a smelter before? No, the nearest I got to that was melting lead on top of an old log burner with Ben. Very dangerous. And then it was really weird watching the steel part, the little clips that are in the wheel weights that we melted down. The steel clips float to the top because they're less dense, and scooping them off. It was so weird to see steel floating. It was odd. It was a really good experience for Ben. And then we poured the liquid lead into a few little molds that we made, let it all cool down, and then he broke open the molds, and he's still got some of those bits of those things that we made somewhere buried in a box here in New Zealand. He very much treasures that day that we had together, and he took all the weights off some old scrap rims we had to do that job. It was that little experiment. It was pretty cool, and you can imagine how hot the log burner must have got to melt lead with it sat on top. It wasn't even put in with the coals, it was sat on top of the log burner. We got that thing red hot. George, hey Andy, last week talked about an uneven front tyre wear on a 200cc motorcycle. Turns out to be used over the limit of its stock suspension. Okay, there you go. That would definitely cause it. I'm currently working on another little thing in the background is a large capacity motorcycle, uneven tyre wear on the front tyre, which has resulted in very heavy, slow speed steering. The bike just doesn't want to drop down, doesn't want to change direction very well. You've really got to push the bars and lean into it to get it to drop into a corner. And also at higher speeds, you've got a little bit of shake on the bars as well. Now, is the adverse tyre wear, it could have been caused by running the tyre at slightly lower pressure or lower pressure than it should be run at. That can cause feathering of the tyre. But also, potentially, we may have a steering head issue as well. So we're going to investigate that. So I'll report back once we've got it all stripped down and inspected. Tyre pressure at the time of inspection was about 2 psi down on what it should have been, which wasn't a lot. And I wouldn't expect 2 psi to make all that much difference. I think it had been ridden, or the most likely reason for it is the bike has been ridden with very low tyre pressure at some point, and that's caused the tyre to wear weird. Once tyres wear a bit funny, they never really recover, especially front tyres. Simon, gotta go. So gotta be careful with melting tyre weights. They have zinc in them. Well, it was a long time ago, Simon, and I was a lot more brave back then than I am now, and a bit foolhardy, and a little bit less experienced as well. But we did wear full face masks at the time. I made Ben wear one, and I wore one as well because I told him it was going to be dangerous, and that was probably partly the appeal to him. He loved pouring the molten lead. It was just he couldn't, getting his head around the fact that the metal was now molten was just fantastic. Daniel Bedell, now you have me thinking about A1 steak sauce on a thick T-bone steak, all because you said A1. Sorry, mate. It's all food related, isn't it? George, the bike is a Bajaj Pulsar 200 NS. Bajaj currently owns KTM. Wow. Jim K. So obviously Husqvarna as well, because KTM and Husqvarna are linked, aren't they? Jim K. Andy, does Suzuki have the VL 1500 Cruiser motorcycle there? Maybe. Sorry, Jim. I haven't really noticed one being around, but they probably have. There's quite a few Suzuki Cruisers about of the higher capacity. Kill switch. PSI difference. My quack says rear tyre should be 38, but when serviced by Kawasaki dealer, they always put 42. Wow, what a difference. And the tyre pressures, you have a rating if you're going to ride the bike solo or if you're going to ride it two up, and it's important that you stick to whatever it is. If you're on the bike on your own, you definitely want to drop the tyre pressures a little bit to whatever it says on the label, swing arm or whatever. But I also find that if you deviate from the original OEM tyre, then sometimes you've got to adjust the tyre pressures very slightly to get the best out of those different tyres. And it's all about the riding experience. The rider gets to know his bike, and playing around with tyre pressures only marginally, only by a couple of PSI or whatever, can make quite a big difference to the handling characteristics of the bike and the wear of the tyre as well. Drew, lead is very low melt. It is, however, to the electronics solderers among us, let me say, leaded solder is perfectly safe. The temp is way too low. Flux is bad, and especially on non-leaded solder. Simon, my mate got one in his workshop last week. The lad had done the head stem bearings. The bike was crabbing like mad. Far, far too tight. Yeah, I don't think these are over tight. I think if anything, they've lost their preload. And maybe indented. I just don't know yet. The rider's pretty relaxed. The bike doesn't get pushed very hard, and wheelies are definitely not something that the bike will have done. So it'd be interesting to see what we find. The original bearings are a normal ball bearing race, and for a big bike like that, I would have expected to see taper rollers in there, and we will be fitting, provided I can get them, a new set of taper roller bearings, just to beef the whole thing up a little bit. Jim K, don't bother reading the label, just set it to the highest PSI on the tire. Not on a motorcycle, mate, no. Killswitch BB, that difference in PSI really helps tipping in around corners. Tire wear was never an issue. Right. Yeah, this bike, I've ridden the same model bike a few times in the past, and this one distinctly has a problem. There's no question about that. But the front tyre at the moment, you would expect it to do what it's doing given the tyre wear at the moment. But is the tyre wear, an effect, a secondary fail, so to speak? Is there a primary fault that we're missing that we need to find out? And only by pulling it apart will we know. Kill switch, lol, Jim, big thumbs up. Jim Haynes, do they still have speedway bike races where you are, and do you ever go? They do. Western Springs does speedway, and also down in Invercargill, a good friend of mine, Kevin, he used to be a really good speedway racer, and I think he still does some. He's getting on a bit now, and he'll admit that. He had a pretty bad accident about 18 months ago, which knocked the wind out of him big time. He was pretty well knocked up. Took him a few months to recover, to be fair. But he is very, very good. He's not as fast as some of the young lads out there, but for an old timer, he's quick. He'd be a lot. I can't do speedway. I've never done it. I have no. I just fall off. But a lot of respect to that guy. He's done a lot of racing over the years, and he does a lot of classic bike racing as well still. And he's a motorcycle dealer, so he's got a lot of customers and a lot of contacts that race as well. And he has a wonderful shed. He does, much bigger than this. And whenever I go down to Invercargill, often they invite me down to join them in their shed for beers and pizza and stuff. And they've got a lovely big log burner in the middle of the workshop. It's a real nice place to be, real man cave. And the bikes, man, he's got some really cool bikes. He's got a Banshee, which is set up for oval racing. So it's got different length swing arms at the front, different size tires at the rear. It's a very cool machine. He is looking to sell it, so maybe, just maybe, I'll get my hands on it. But I'd have to put it back to standard configuration. And he's got all the original parts for it as well. And that bike, that Banshee, has won quite a few races, national races. Kill switch, done that. Right. I think, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure there's a few ladies watching, I think we're about there. Thank you very much for joining. Don't forget, if you haven't yet got your official Andy Mechanic mug, and these are a must for your workshop, obviously, you can go on to the Zazzle store, which is there's a link in the description of this video and all my other videos that have been put out in the last sort of 6 months. Grab yourself some merch and send me through a selfie on an email, andymechanic@live.co.uk, and I'll put you in the draw. It's not too late to enter. I'll put you in the draw to win some Teng Tools gear, some Forge sprays and stuff, and also some more Andy Mechanic merch, including a bespoke Andy Mechanic jacket. There you go. We've done another live stream, and now I've got some real work to do. Thanks to everybody for joining. It's been a record live stream for viewership. I'm really eager to see what the stats look like. And thank you all for your support of this channel. It's without you, there wouldn't be an Andy Mechanic YouTube channel, that's for sure. And all your input is most appreciated. So think up some more questions for next Sunday, and I'll see you at 8:30 in the morning, sharp. New Zealand time, by the way. All right, crew, I'll see you around. Cheers, over and out.